Hello, this is Tom from Never Center, and in this video I'm going to show you what we've got for you in Pixelmash 2026.0, a new version for the upcoming new year. And we've got some pretty exciting things in this release, I think. The first that I'll show is actually, it's off the screen right here, but in the File menu now there's a new window command which will basically open a second instantiation or however many you want of Pixelmash so that you can be working on multiple documents at the same time. And so, yeah, this is instead of adding new tabs, and maybe we'll do that in the future, but because these are completely separate instances of the app, but this will at least allow you to have multiple things going at the same time. So we think that's pretty exciting. The next big thing that we've added is it's both in the File menu under Effects Presets, but you can also see it under just the Add Effect button at the top of the Effects menu here. But we've added these Effects Presets, as the name implies. And so these are just effects or groups of effects that we've set up for different things. And you can edit these so that you can add your own to these. So I'll just go through these, like black and white. Uses the remap palette to just convert whatever you have to black and white. Blue-orange palette will force your palette to use this nice blue transitioning to a warm orange to white. We've got effects for electric glow that adds an outline and a glow that sort of electrifies anything. We've got, what else do we got in here? Lake mirror. We'll just add this semi-opaque or semi-transparent mirror to whatever layer you add it to. And I'll show also just some of these are set up, such as this flame one. This is set up just to make it easy to paint a flame. And so I can just sort of paint in there, and I can paint any sort of shape, and it ends up being basically looking like flames, which is pretty fun. And that we've got an auto shade and a glow on there that does that. It's actually kind of fun also to add this effect to things like this guy. I can add flame, and the blue in the middle makes a little less sense when it's on a dune maybe, but anyway, it's kind of fun. Let's go back to this layer, turn him off. Another effect, we've got these bricks ones that it's basically just a dither pattern, and dither patterns are one of the great things to store in here. But let's make it gray for concrete. You can see as I just paint, it makes bricks. So I can paint bricks anywhere. And I can remove that, and I believe that was bricks small. Here's bricks large. It's just a different dither pattern saved in there. What else do we got in here? Oh, these photo converter ones. Well, let's just show the sunset gradient because that's a fun one. Can turn this guy. Whoops, I've got the effects turned off. Why is this not showing? Oh, because I put it on the wrong layer. Okay. Add effect, effects presets, sunset gradient. There. Now the dude has sunset gradient, and it's fun. All right. Now, as I said, some of these presets are for photo conversion. So you can see we've got photo converter 16 and photo converter 8. So I'm going to import into here some photos. Let's start with this one. And since this document is a small resolution and this photo is a big resolution, we're going to have to resize it down there. Let me make this actually as a new document. Let's do File, New Project, don't save, and we'll do Dynamic Res. Oh, I did the wrong thing. We're going to do File, Open, don't save, and then we'll just open one of these photos, and then it will automatically make a dynamic res. And then I'm just going to down res this. You can see when it's full res, it's this guy standing over a desert, which is kind of fun. We down-res it to sort of a pixel arty resolution. Now we can just add the effect presets. And this Photo Converter 16 uses our new and improved auto palette. So you can find this under Effects, Image Conversion, Auto Palette. But I just added the preset version of this that has it preset to 16 colors. And we've quite dramatically improved the quality of this effect. We've added this smoothing slider so that when it's just first applying this auto palette, so this will basically find the 16 kind of most common universal colors in the original image, and it will restrict the palette to those 16 colors. And I can go in here and I can lower the number of colors down to 5 or 4. I can raise the number of colors, and then I can also add this smoothing value, which will take out some of the kind of outlier, jaggy individual islands of color. And so once you do that too much, it gets kind of blobby and smooth. And so this slider lets you dial in that amount. Excuse me. And so it's neat to be able to just sort of press up and down, put your mouse in here and go up and down to to dial in just the amount of colors that look neat. And one thing that's really fun to do with this is that now there's also this forced colors section. And so what I can do is, like, an image like this, maybe I like that amount of colors, but I really want the dude to have black pixels for the dude. And so I can add a color, and then it will force that color plus these 8 additional colors. And I can edit that color. And it's just for each of these colors that it finds or that I'm choosing, it's then going in the image and seeing which of, each pixel in that image, which of these colors does it map most closely to. So if I change this to a lighter color, then it's not going to include that dude at all because he's darker value. But maybe there's one of those background colors on the horizon that I want to dial in or something, and I can add the black for the guy also. So then I know I want this color right here in the background. I know that I want this color for the dude, and then I'll let it choose the next 8 best colors. If I take this down to 0, then it will just use those 2 colors that I chose. So this can be really neat. In this forced color things, I can import a palette like these that I have saved on my desktop here, and I can either replace or append that, but I'm going to replace this. You can find cool pixel art palettes online, but this palette then will be all my forced colors, and then my color count is still up to 7, so I can take that down to 0, so that's not adding any additional colors to these 8 colors specified in the palette. But this is actually one of the presets is basically this. It's called Blue Orange Palette. And if I loaded that, you can see it's essentially exactly the same thing, where it will then take this photo and it will map each of the colors to the closest ones of these. And so really cool new stuff that you can do here with this new auto palette. Let's just try a different image. Let's try this girl sitting on grass here. Just put her in there, and let's try some of these on here. So add effect, Photo Converter 16. So that finds the 16 most common colors. And it's kind of fun to dial in the resolution and both the resolution of the pixels and the resolution of the colors. I can arrow down here to reduce the colors to get it, maybe the kind of right kind of pixel arty look. And then if I'm like, I wish that her skin color was in there, I'm toggling the effects on and off with the / button. But I can add a color, I can toggle the effect off, and I can use my color dropper to pick a skin color, turn this back on, and then you can see it's now including that skin color. And maybe I want one that's a little bit lighter one to use for the highlights on her skin. And maybe I dial this down a bit or up, but it's pretty neat. Let's try just that blue-orange palette on this one and see how that looks. It's kind of fun. So, and like I said, you can go into here and you can save whatever current effects you have on here and just do save to current presets, and it will browse to that folder where these are located. Then you can save this name to whatever you want, and then it will show up in this menu here. And if I want to organize these, if I want to delete some, I can just reveal presets folder. Then I can, let's like duplicate this just so that now it's like blue orange palette 2, and we'll pretend that I changed something in there. But now when I go into this, you can see that shows up in my FX preset list. So we've added this sort of starter pack, but we'll be adding a lot more. And feel free to send us any cool ones that you have, and we'll definitely consider including those in the presets. And with the photo conversion stuff like this is also just often just can be a great starting point where I do something like this, and then I can go to edit and I can bake the layer resolution and effects. And so now this has baked this down to my current resolution of 132 by 198. And now I can go and do my, pixel by pixel editing where I, get really detailed with it. And so maybe this is just a starting point, but it also can be very handy for just converting photos. So let us know what you think in the comments, and feel free to write into us. We hope that you'll love this release. Thanks.